Another ET now news break confirmed. This afternoon we told you that the Axis Bank QIP was likely to launch today, and just now in the evening a filing has been made to confirm that news break, and indeed the Axis Bank QIP is very much underway. The floor price for the issue has been set at 442 rupees per share. So if you compare that to today's closing price of around 429 rupees a share, it represents a 3% premium. Now there is a clause in there that they may offer up to a 5% discount to the floor price. So that in turn would take it to around 420 levels, pretty much where it's currently perched at. So investors can feel reassured that the demand for the block, surely they wouldn't have drawn up this price without gauging the demand first. So investors can feel reassured that in other essentially new investors are willing to park money in Access at this price of 420 to 430, which is where it stands right now. In the case of Bandhan, we saw that they had to drop their price significantly by around 10% in order to dispose of the 20% block. Nonetheless, it did see marquee participation, but the price was definitely a solid 10% discount to the closing price on Friday. So nothing like that with Axis. It's going to hold out pretty much where it's at. But how we saw the reactions, for example, with the Kotak Mahindra Bank, people are waiting for these fundraisers to come in to know who's participating and with what quantity of money is really going to be put in, because then that gives them the security to know that in the event of anything going wrong, a large spike in NPAs or perhaps a significant growth opportunity, capital is not going to be the resource that runs short. Also, right now, given that all the larger financial institutions are evaluating a raise and that there is a fair amount of institutional appetite for these issues, it might just be a very good time for Axis to look at building some additional store or whatever you want to call it in the coffers in the event of any kind of macroeconomic deterioration. So that's what's happening. The price performance of Axis and ICICI has been lagging a little bit behind that of its other private peers. Even in IndusInd, we saw reacted very positively on the fundraise news and the fact that the promoter was himself participating in that fundraise. In fact, the promoter in IndusInd was going to take 1/4 of the total issue over there. So these banks are reacting positively when news flow comes in that capital is being raised. So we can, possibly expect that with Axis Bank tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see what that counter does. Now we're just waiting to hear from an ICICI that seems to be one of the banks that had also announced a $2 billion fundraise a while back, but there's been no follow through and shares have taken a fair beating since then. So again, over there, price will be key. But once these fundraising overhangs are gone, it's kind of like a new breath of life for these stocks, and they can perhaps get over this constant resistance they've been facing at these recent levels that we've been seeing.